Hey there, and welcome back. Or if you're new here, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, because today we're diving headfirst into an experience unlike any other. Tell me, where in the world are you watching from, and what time is it for you right now? Because right now, for Churger, time has folded. You're not in a cozy room or commuting on a train. You've been pulled back, far back, millennia into the past, to the heart of the Ice Age. You wake with a jolt, not from a sound, but from an absence of warmth so profound it's a physical blow. It hits you instantly, brutally, before your mind even fully registers what's happening. Your lungs seize, gasping for air, but each breath is like inhaling shards of ice, searing a raw, burning pain deep within your chest. It's a primordial cold, a deep, pervasive chill that seems to emanate from the very rock of the cave floor beneath your thin, worn furs, straight into your bones. It's an invading force, not just on your skin, but in your marrow, making every nerve scream for reprieve. You try to move, to shift, but your limbs refuse to obey. They are stiff, locked in place, protesting with a dull, persistent ache that runs from your fingertips to your toes. Your fingers, when you finally manage to twitch them, feel like clumsy, useless blocks of wood, numb and unresponsive. The small, careful heap of dried animal skins you wrapped yourself in last night now feel impossibly thin, offering barely any resistance to the relentless, freezing assault. You can feel the deep, shuddering shivers that rack your body, an uncontrollable tremor that threatens to consume you. You force your eyes open, blinking rapidly, trying to pierce the gloom of the cave. The last embers of your precious fire from hours ago are long dead, leaving only a faint, stale scent of ash and damp earth. The darkness feels heavy, cold, almost suffocating. Beside you, your companion groans, a low, guttural sound of discomfort that mirrors your own. You see him shift, a slow, agonizing struggle as he tries to pull a stiff fur closer. His movements are as labored as yours, his breath pluming white in the freezing air, visible even in the dim light filtering from the cave mouth. There's no need for words. The shared, desperate cold, the agonizing stiffness, binds you together in a silent, urgent pact. Your mind, though still groggy, screams one word: warmth. The need is immediate, desperate, overriding everything else. It's a raw, undeniable command from your very core, pushing you to fight, to move, to find any spark of heat against this encroaching oblivion. This isn't just discomfort. It's a direct threat, demanding desperate action. It makes you realize, profoundly, doesn't it, how utterly fragile human existence is without the most basic necessities, and how the simplest act of getting warm can become a desperate, all-consuming battle for survival. You push against the cave floor, grunting with effort, every muscle protesting, until you manage to sit upright. The primordial cold still grips you, radiating up from the bare rock, but now there's an urgent, overriding purpose: fire. You quickly scan the small, dim space. Your companion, equally stiff, is already fumbling with a small, carefully guarded pouch of dry tinder, his movements slow and deliberate in the brutal chill. Your fingers, still numb and clumsy, reach for the scatter of brittle, dried moss and tiny twigs you gathered yesterday. They feel like frozen splinters against your skin, delicate and crucial. You grab a piece of flint from your belt pouch, its rough surface biting into your cold hand. Then, with an antler strike, you bring it down against a piece of iron pyrites. *Chak. A sharp, metallic sound cuts through the silent, pressing cold. A single, tiny spark, almost invisible, flies off, disappearing into the darkness. You try again, forcing your stiff fingers to grip tighter, to strike with more force, with more precision. Chalk. Another spark. Gone. Your breath hitches, a small tremor of desperation running through you. Failure here means the unrelenting cold wins. You press closer to the pile of tinder, shielding it with your body, feeling the scratchy, dry moss against your cheek. Your companion, his face a mask of intense focus, holds a piece of dried fungi, its edges carefully prepared. He watches your every move, his own breath held. This isn't just about striking sparks. It's about coaxing life from inert stone and brittle plant matter. You strike again, a harder, faster motion. Asterisk, chak, chak, chak. Make XP Kells. Make XP Kells. Some asterisk de prosend back chak. Can for pair. A shower of sparks this time, and one catches. A tiny, fragile orange glow, no bigger than a pinhead, appears in the tinder. You hold your breath, leaning in, blowing gently, slowly, a precise, steady stream of air. Your cheeks ache with the effort, your lungs burn with the icy intake, but your focus is absolute. You see the glowing ember pulse, then brighten, growing slowly, painstakingly. A wisp of gray smoke rises, carrying the sharp, pungent scent of burning moss, the most beautiful smell you've encountered in this brutal world. Your companion lets out a small, almost imperceptible sigh of relief, his shoulders visibly relaxing. The tiny flame flickers, dances, then catches onto a thin twig, growing, reaching, a defiant, living thing in the vast, cold darkness. The sudden, intense warmth on your face is almost painful after hours of freezing, but it's an exquisite pain, a wave of profound relief. This isn't the silent, unseen hum of modern heating that simply is. This is a meticulously coaxed flame, born of painstaking effort, a tangible, glowing victory wrenched from the very jaws of oblivion. It makes you truly understand, doesn't it, how deeply intertwined our very existence is with something as fundamental as a simple flame, and how the profound immediate relief of hard-won warmth can make you question everything you once took for granted. The hollow ache in your belly isn't just a sensation anymore. It's a living, gnawing presence, a deep, persistent emptiness that has been with you for days. It pulls at your muscles, saps your strength, making every movement a deliberate, sluggish effort. Your limbs feel heavy, as if filled with lead, each step across the frozen ground a conscious act of will. A pervasive weakness hums beneath your skin, a constant reminder of how thin the line is between pushing forward and simply collapsing into the indifferent snow. You feel lightheaded, a dull throb behind your eyes, your vision sometimes blurring at the edges from the sheer, profound lack of sustenance. Your mind, usually battling the relentless cold, now has a singular, sharp, almost animalistic focus. Food. Every other thought, every memory of warmth or comfort recedes into the background, eclipsed by this raw, demanding need. You walk, your head bowed against the biting wind, but your senses are hyper-alert, tuned to the subtle whispers of the desolate landscape. Every rustle of dry, frozen grass, every distant creak of ice is unconsciously filtered, analyzed, for any sign of life. Then, a faint whiff. It's barely there, almost lost in the icy, metallic tang of the wind, but you feel it in your nostrils, a subtle, musky scent. Animal. It's not strong enough to identify, but it's asterisk there. You stop. Instantly, your body tensing, the weakness momentarily forgotten, replaced by a surge of pure, primal adrenaline. You lift your head, exposing your chapped, wind-burned face to the brutal current, consciously flaring your nostrils, trying to capture more of that elusive whisper. You turn slightly, letting the wind flow across your cheek, reading its direction, its subtle shifts, trying to pinpoint the source of that promise. Your companion, walking a few paces ahead, also freezes. He hasn't seen anything, hasn't heard anything, but he felt your sudden stillness, your abrupt shift in focus. He turns his head slowly, his eyes meeting yours. A silent question passing between you. You simply nod, a subtle, almost imperceptible tilt of your chin towards the direction the wind is coming from. He understands. His body tenses too, his own posture reflecting the sudden, desperate urgency. His hand instinctively goes to the crude spear at his back. The hunger is still there, a hollow drum in your gut, but now it's overlaid with a fierce, burning purpose. The weakness recedes, replaced by a singular, focused drive. You begin to move again, silently, carefully, each step now imbued with an intense, calculated intention, your every fiber straining to follow the faintest, most fleeting promise of survival carried on the wild, icy breath of the tundra. It's a profound realization, isn't it? How truly fundamental hunger is, stripping away all complexities, reducing you to the very essence of what it means to be alive and to fight for that existence. It makes you feel the ancient, primal truth of our being, a drive far older and deeper than any modern convenience. The cold air bites at your exposed skin as you creep, low to the ground, across the snow-dusted tundra. Every breath you take is shallow, controlled, trying not to disturb the profound silence, trying not to alert the herd of wild horses grazing in the distant valley. Your muscles are coiled, tense, a living spring ready to explode, but you move with agonizing slowness, each step a deliberate placement of your hide-clad foot, barely disturbing the brittle crust of snow. The pervasive hunger that usually gnaws at your belly is momentarily forgotten, replaced by a sharper, more urgent sensation, the electric hum of adrenaline, the heart-pounding tension of the hunt. Your eyes, narrowed against the biting wind, are locked onto the shifting forms of the horses. They are wary, their ears twitching, constantly scanning the vast, empty landscape for any sign of danger. One wrong move, one misplaced sound, and they will bolt, disappearing into the gray horizon, taking with them the promise of food, of warmth, of life for your small group. You feel the rough, cold shaft of your spear in your grip, its flint tip a lethal, carefully honed extension of your will. The weight of it is reassuring, a familiar comfort. Your companion is a silent shadow to your left, moving with the same precise, synchronized caution. You don't need to speak. A glance, a subtle shift of his body, communicates everything. You are two parts of a single, ancient machine working in perfect, unspoken harmony. You feel the deep thud of your own heart against your ribs, a drumbeat that seems to fill the entire silent world. The scent of wild horse, musky and fresh, now carries on the wind, stronger, clearer, pulling you forward with an irresistible, primal urge. Your mouth is dry, your senses hyper-alert, every fiber of your being focused on this single, life-or-death gamble. You watch as the lead mare, her coat thick and shaggy against the cold, lifts her head, her nostrils flaring, testing the air. Your breath catches. For a terrifying second, her eyes seem to sweep directly towards your hiding place. Time itself seems to stretch, to warp as you freeze, utterly motionless, willing yourself to be invisible, to be a mere part of the rock and snow. Your companion, you know, is doing the same. It's a game of ultimate stakes, where the prize is survival, and the cost of failure is oblivion, not just for you, but for your entire community back in the cave. This isn't a sport. It's the raw, brutal act of sustaining life. Finally, she lowers her head, resuming her grazing, and the tension bleeds from your body in a silent, shuddering release. You exchange another quick glance with your companion, a flicker of fierce determination passing between you. The hunt continues. The eventual taste of that hard-won meat, roasted over the fire, will be unlike anything you've ever known in your modern life. A profound, almost spiritual experience, utterly foreign to the effortless abundance of today's world. It will be the taste of effort, of risk, of defiance against death itself. You press your back against the cave wall, trying to find a position that offers some relief, but there is none. The relentless chill of the bare rock seeps directly into your bones, bypassing the thin layers of hide, drawing what little warmth you possess straight from your core. It's a deep, pervasive cold, an ancient, unyielding presence that has always been here, long before you. You can feel its damp, mineral breath on your skin, even as the small, struggling fire several feet away casts its flickering, inadequate warmth. Your muscles tighten involuntarily, bracing against the constant frigid embrace, a dull ache settling deep in your spine. Your hand, despite the chill, instinctively reaches out, tracing the rough, unyielding texture of the cave wall. It's coarse, uneven, a mosaic of sharp projections and smooth, damp depressions. You feel the grit of ancient stone under your fingertips, the cold, unfeeling surface, a testament to immense geological time. This isn't a comforting embrace. It's a raw, elemental touch, a constant reminder of the sheer, indifferent scale of the world around you. The air in the cave is thick with the scent of damp earth and a faint, acrid tang of wood smoke, a primal perfume that has become the very essence of your existence here. Then, from the absolute, profound silence that stretches beyond the immediate circle of firelight, a sound. No drip. A single, clear water droplet falling from some unseen crevice high in the cavern's ceiling impacts a puddle below. The sound echoes, resonating through the vast, dark space, drawn out, haunting, before fading back into the oppressive quiet. You hold your breath, listening, waiting for another, but the silence reclaims its dominion, making that one solitary sound feel impossibly loud, infinitely lonely. It's a rhythmic, almost meditative sound, but one that also underscores the sheer, immense emptiness of your surroundings. You pull your fur cloak tighter, hunching deeper into yourself, trying to minimize your exposed surface, to conserve every precious calorie of body heat. Your companion, a few feet away, stirs, his eyes meeting yours across the dim space. His expression is grim, acknowledging the pervasive cold, the profound silence, the shared, unspoken reality of your situation. He shifts, drawing his own furs closer, and the rustle of hide is another small sound that briefly punctures the silence, before it too is swallowed by the cavern's immense, watchful quiet. You can feel the moisture in the air, a damp cold that clings to everything, slowly chilling the fire's warmth. The cold, the roughness, the haunting sound of that solitary drop, they converge, creating a visceral sense of smallness, a vulnerability in a world of overwhelming scale. You are a tiny speck, clinging to warmth, listening to the slow, indifferent march of geological time. It makes you truly understand, doesn't it? How profound silence can be, how tangible the cold, and how deeply our senses connect us to the raw, unyielding reality of the planet itself, stripping away all modern illusions of control. Your hands ache, stiff and raw, as you plunge your crude digging stick into the frozen earth. It's like striking solid rock, the impact jarring up your arm, sending a fresh jolt of pain through your already weary body. You feel the grit of frozen dirt and tiny shards of ice against your skin as you try to dislodge a clump, a small piece of the unyielding planet you are attempting to bend to your will. Each scoop of mud, heavy and dense, is a monumental effort, a slow, agonizing battle against the sheer inertia of the cold ground. The cold, wet earth clings to your fingers, numbing them further, making the simple act of lifting it feel like a profound struggle. You're not simply finding shelter, you're carving it from the unyielding planet, shaping a rudimentary wall to block the worst of the pervasive wind at the cave's entrance. Your companion grunts beside you, his own movements equally strained as he pries loose a slab of frozen turf with his own sharpened antler. You hear the dull scrape of his tool, the quiet exhales of effort, a shared symphony of desperate labor. This isn't a flick of a switch, not a climate control button. This is raw, physical will pitted against the overwhelming, indifferent elements. You drag a heavy piece of fallen, gnarled branch, thick with hoarfrost, into position. It scrapes loudly against the ground, sending a shiver of cold up your spine. But it's a necessary barrier, a framework. Then, with painstaking care, you pack layers of thick, freezing mud and snow around it, feeling its gritty, wet texture on your exposed skin, trying to seal every tiny gap, every whisper of a potential draft. The smell of damp, frozen earth fills your nostrils, raw and elemental. Every single handful pressed into place is a conscious act, a small pushback against the vast, consuming cold outside. The air in the cave, though still cold, feels a fraction less brutal, a testament to the slowly rising barrier. When a section of your crude wall finally holds, a tiny, imperfect barricade rising against the persistent wind, there's a profound, almost primal satisfaction. It's a minuscule victory, yes, but a victory nonetheless, a testament to sheer, desperate ingenuity against the immense, indifferent power of the Ice Age. You step back, wiping mud from your brow with the back of your hand, surveying the small, enclosed space you are creating. It's rough, uneven, damp, but it's asterisk yours, a hard-won sanctuary from the eternal freeze. It makes you truly understand, doesn't it? How deeply human it is to shape our world, how profoundly precious a simple, enclosed space can be, and how much we've forgotten the back-breaking, relentless effort that built our very first, most essential homes. The wind slams into you, not as a gentle breeze, but as a solid, physical blow, a relentless, invisible fist that tries to shove you backward. It tears at the thick furs wrapped around you, finding every minuscule gap, every loose seam, driving icy tendrils deep into your layers. Your exposed skin, already chapped and raw, protests with a searing, agonizing sting that feels like 1,000 tiny needles pricking simultaneously. You instinctively hunch your shoulders, pull your hood tighter, burying your face deeper into the rough fur, but there's no escaping its pervasive, cutting assault. It's a relentless, unceasing tormentor. The sound is a ceaseless howling roar, filling your ears, deafening, drowning out every other thought, every other sense. It's a vast, mournful lament, a primal scream from the very heart of the frozen wilderness. It whips up fine, powdery snow, blinding you momentarily, turning the world into a swirling vortex of white and gray. You try to take a deep breath, but the air it carries is so frigid, so violent, it sears your lungs, making them ache with a sharp, burning pain, forcing you into shallow, gasping breaths that offer no real relief. Then, within that overwhelming roar, you hear something else, a faint, almost imperceptible sound, carried on a sudden, wild gust. It's a high-pitched metallic whine, stretched thin, like distant mournful laughter, or the shriek of something immense and unseen. It's alien, terrifying, a sound you can't place, amplified and distorted by the chaotic currents. It raises the hairs on your arms, sending a chill, deeper than the cold, down your spine. Your eyes, squinting against the snow and wind, instinctively scan the vast, empty expanse, trying to pinpoint the source, trying to grasp what new, unseen horror the wind has just brought to your ears. Your companion, just ahead, stops abruptly. His body stiffens, his head turning slowly, his face etched with the same fear and confusion that grips you. His eyes meet yours, wide and questioning, a silent acknowledgement of the terrifying, unidentifiable sound that just pierced the wind's roar. He doesn't need to speak. You both know it's a warning, a whispered threat from beyond the horizon, carried on the relentless breath of the Ice Age itself. The sheer untamed power of the wind is a constant, physical reminder of your fragility, of your utter insignificance in this vast, indifferent world. You press on, one painful, deliberate step after another, every fiber of your being screaming in protest. The wind howls, carrying its alien whispers, and you realize that every breath, every movement is a desperate, defiant act against the overwhelming power of the elements, a constant battle simply to exist. It makes you truly understand, doesn't it, how something as intangible as air, when stripped of its gentleness, can become a brutal, suffocating force. A constant reminder of how incredibly vulnerable we are in the face of nature's raw, untamed power. The ceaseless howl of the wind is a familiar tormentor, but today you notice a subtle shift in its voice. It's not just its brute force, but a nuanced change in its texture. A sharper, drier bite that seems to carry a different message. You stop, your body instinctively tensing, your head lifting, turning your face into the relentless current. You let it buffet your wind-chapped cheeks, letting it whisper its secrets directly into your very being. Is it colder? Does it carry the distinct, heavy scent of an impending blizzard, the promise of snow that will bury everything? Or is there something else, a faint, musky tang of a distant animal, a predator perhaps, or the vital promise of game? You close your eyes for a brief second, concentrating, straining to read the air pressure on your skin, the way the sound changes as it whips around a distant, gnarled rock formation. It's an ancient, internal barometer, far more sophisticated than any instrument you've ever encountered in your other life. Your very survival depends on this profound attunement, this visceral understanding of nature's language. There's no glowing screen in your hand, no gentle voice from a device whispering predictions or temperature changes. Your forecast comes directly from the raw, unfiltered breath of the Ice Age itself. Your companion, walking a few paces ahead, also stops. He doesn't need a signal. He feels your sudden stillness, your deep, unwavering focus. He turns, his eyes meeting yours, a silent question in their depths. He watches your face, your subtle movements, interpreting your own reading of the wind. You lift a hand, pointing vaguely northwest, indicating a particular shift in the current, the specific direction the subtle, earthy scent of a grazing herd seems to be traveling from. He nods, a grim line to his mouth, understanding the stakes, trusting your interpretation implicitly. You take a deep breath, the frigid air filling your lungs, trying to isolate the separate threads of information the wind weaves. It's a symphony of survival, a constant stream of vital data. The subtle pressure changes could mean a storm front pushing in, forcing you to seek immediate shelter, or risk freezing to death in the open. A faint distant sound distorted by the wind might be a migrating herd, your next meal, or it could be the mournful cry of a pack of wolves, warning of danger. Every nuance is critical, every whisper a matter of life and death. Your life isn't about just surviving Hohen lies the wind. It's about asterisk living through, and asterisk with it, a constant, high-stakes dialogue. It makes you understand, doesn't it, how deeply intertwined our ancestors were with the subtle, profound rhythms of nature, how their very existence hinged on an attunement that our modern world, with its easy conveniences and weather apps, has almost entirely forgotten. It makes you realize the profound beauty and the terrifying responsibility of truly listening to the world around you. The acrid, biting tang of wood smoke stings your eyes, not just irritating, but burning with a sharp, insistent pain that makes them water profusely. You blink rapidly, trying to clear the haze, to see through the swirling gray plumes that eddy around the cave mouth before escaping into the vast, indifferent cold. A cough rips through your throat, harsh and dry, leaving a raw ache in its wake. It's a constant, almost suffocating presence, filling your nostrils, coating your tongue with a bitter, earthy taste, a primal perfume that now defines the very air you breathe within this fragile shelter. But then, despite the discomfort, you find yourself drawn in. The fire, painstakingly coaxed from dying embers, now crackles and hisses, a living, hungry entity. Each snap of burning wood is a small explosion, a crisp percussion against the background roar of the wind outside. You watch, mesmerized, as tiny sparks spiral upwards, dancing a brief, fleeting jig before vanishing into the smoke. The flames themselves are a hypnotic ballet of orange and yellow, twisting, leaping, casting colossal, dancing shadows on the rough, ancient rock walls of the cave, transforming them into a canvas of shifting forms. You extend your hands, fingers splayed, towards the growing blaze. The sudden, overwhelming warmth is almost shocking, a wave of profound relief against your frost-nipped, aching fingers. It's an exquisite sensation, the intense heat penetrating your numb skin, chasing away the deep, bone-seated chill that has been your constant companion for hours. You feel the blood begin to rush back into your fingertips, a tingling, almost painful throb that signifies life returning, the retreat of the brutal cold. Your companion, huddled beside you, lets out a long, shuddering sigh, his own hands extended, his face softened by the golden glow, a shared moment of desperate, hard-won comfort. This isn't just a fire you observe. It's a living shield, a pulsing heart in the vast, cold darkness of the Ice Age. It's a source of light, a promise of cooked food, a barrier against unseen horrors, and, most crucially, a fierce, unwavering source of warmth that keeps oblivion at bay. You watch the flames, utterly captivated, feeling the heat soak into your very core, a profound, visceral connection to this primal element that means the difference between existence and being swallowed by the endless freeze. It makes you understand, doesn't it, how deeply intertwined our existence is with the raw power of a simple fire, how much more profound and vital warmth becomes when it's not just a thermostat setting, but a painstakingly earned, fiercely guarded lifeline. You kneel by the carefully laid bundle of dried moss and brittle twigs, your movements slow, deliberate, almost meditative. Your fingers, calloused and precise, arrange each piece of tinder with an intimate knowledge of how it will catch, how it will burn. This isn't a casual task. It's a sacred ritual, a dance with the very essence of life in this brutal world. You feel the rough texture of the carefully selected wood, its dryness, a precious commodity in the damp cave. The air around you is thick with the anticipation, a quiet reverence from your companions gathered close. You take your carefully prepared drilling stick, its tip hardened by past fires, and set it against the baseboard of softer wood. Your hands work in a practiced rhythm, the friction building, a faint wisp of smoke curling upwards, carrying the sharp, sweet scent of burning wood. You blow gently, a focused, steady breath, coaxing, willing the smoldering dust to ignite. This precise choreography, this ancient knowledge passed down through generations, is everything. There's no easy button, no instant heat, only skill, patience, and profound respect for the transformative power you are about to unleash. Then, a tiny orange spark, no bigger than a pinhead, appears in the tinder nest, a delicate, fragile ember. You cup it gently, shielding it from any errant draft, nurturing it with more soft blows, feeling the heat bloom against your palms. Your companion beside you watches, his eyes reflecting the nascent flame. a shared understanding of the sheer effort and critical importance of this moment. The fire is not just a source of warmth. It's a living thing you are bringing into being, a fragile but powerful ally against the relentless, consuming darkness. As the flame catches, leaping from the tinder to the thin kindling, a collective sigh of relief ripples through the small group. The cave instantly feels less hostile, less vast. The fire grows, crackling and spitting, casting dancing shadows on the ancient rock walls. Its golden light pushes back the oppressive gloom, making the unseen predators beyond the cave mouth seem a little less terrifying. Its heat promises cooked meat, a chance for your body to truly rest, to reclaim energy that has been tirelessly spent battling the cold. It's a protector, a life-giver, the beating heart of your existence here. You watch the flames, utterly captivated, feeling its profound energy. You think of your other life, the easy, thoughtless flick of a switch to ignite a stove, to bring light, to conjure heat from an unseen source. Here, that act is a meticulous, sacred ritual, a direct, visceral connection to the elemental power that makes survival possible. This isn't just fire. It's a testament to human will, an enduring symbol of our defiance against oblivion. It makes you truly understand, doesn't it? How deeply intertwined our existence is with the raw, elemental forces of nature, and how much we've lost touch with the profound reverence for something as simple and as utterly vital as a meticulously coaxed flame. The weight of the cured animal hide settles on your shoulders, a familiar, almost suffocating burden. It's stiff, unyielding at first, molded by the cold, but slowly, imperceptibly, it begins to soften, adapting to the contours of your body, drawing warmth from your meager heat. You pull the rough, shaggy fur closer, feeling its dense, matted bulk form a protective barrier against the biting air that still tries to seep into the cave. The strong, pungent odor of smoke, animal, and a faint, musky earthiness immediately fills your nostrils. It's not a pleasant smell by any other standard, perhaps, but here, in the heart of the Ice Age, it's a constant, reassuring presence, a tangible reminder of your survival. You move your arm, and the stiff leather rubs with a dry, soft rasp against your other layers. It's a second skin, meticulously scraped, stretched, and dried, a fortress woven from the very fabric of the wild. You can feel the cold trying to press in, but the thick, smoke-permeated hide holds it at bay, trapping a precious pocket of warmth close to your skin. Each hair, each fiber is a tiny soldier in your constant battle against the relentless freeze. This isn't a garment you chose for fashion or comfort. It's a necessity, an extension of your own will to exist, hand-stitched from the bounty of a successful hunt. Your companion, across the low, flickering fire, shifts his own heavy furs, a similar garment of raw hide and matted fur, equally stiff, equally worn. His eyes meet yours, a silent acknowledgement of this shared reality, this primal uniform. The scent of his furs mingles with yours, adding to the pervasive, earthy aroma that defines your existence in this cave. It's a smell that clings to your hair, permeates your food, becomes a part of your very being. Yet you wouldn't trade it for anything. It's the smell of safety, of protection, of being alive when countless others succumb to the cold. You remember, with a jolt, the soft, light, often discarded clothes of your other life. The ease of washing, the endless variety, the utter indifference with which they were acquired. Here, this one heavy hide represents hours of dangerous hunting, painstaking processing, and careful mending. Each thread of sinew holding it together is a testament to human ingenuity and desperate labor. This isn't disposable, it's vital. You run your hand over its rough surface, feeling the resilience, the strength of the animal that once wore it, now protecting you. It makes you truly understand, doesn't it? that the deepest comfort isn't found in softness or luxury, but in the raw, primal security of protection. How a simple garment, born of necessity and crafted with desperate skill, can become the most profound symbol of defiance against the overwhelming indifference of nature. You brace a stiff, scraped hide across your knee, feeling its coarse, almost unyielding texture dig into your leg. The smell of cured animal, earthy and potent, fills your nostrils as you press down with a flint scraper, meticulously working its keen edge across the surface. Your hands ache, fingers already stiff from the cold and the relentless effort, but you push, peeling away the last stubborn bits of membrane and fat. It's back-breaking, painstaking work, this transformation of raw material into something truly useful, something that will keep you alive. Each scrape, each deliberate movement, is an act of creation, demanding every ounce of your focus. You then take a slender, polished bone needle, its point impossibly fine, yet strong, threading it with a piece of sinew, meticulously separated from a dried tendon, feels like a delicate dance, a testament to hours of practice. You position the needle against the tough, thick hide, pressing firmly, feeling its sharp tip slowly pierce through the resistant leather. Then, with a gentle, steady pull, you draw the sinew through, forming a stitch. Asterisk, S-H-H-K-S, cham node. The sound is soft, almost imperceptible, a quiet whisper of craftsmanship. Each stitch is a tiny victory, a bond forged between two pieces of hide, slowly creating a seam that will defy the brutal, biting wind. You work slowly, patiently, your eyes narrowed in concentration, ignoring the cold that tries to creep in around your own worn furs. Your companion, across the small cave, is similarly engrossed, carefully lashing a spearhead to a shaft, his brow furrowed, his movements equally precise. There's a silent understanding between you. Every single item, every piece of clothing, every tool is a direct result of this intense, focused labor. This isn't just about making clothes. It's about meticulously weaving your very survival. A single misplaced stitch, a poorly tied knot, a dull edge on a tool, any imperfection could mean the difference between life and death out on the tundra. You think of the modern world, of garments pulled from racks in stores, mass-produced, identical, easily discarded. The contrast is stark, almost violent. Here, each stitch, each painstaking cut, each polished surface is a direct testament to your will to live, to your ingenuity, to the fierce, protective love for your community. This isn't just a hide garment. It's a shield, a second skin, imbued with the energy of your hands, the sweat of your labor, the profound, desperate hope for another day. You run your finger over a completed seam, feeling its strength, its unwavering hold against the world. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? How deeply connected we once were to the very fabric of our survival. How every item we owned was a story of raw effort and profound skill. It reminds you that true value isn't in abundance, but in the meticulous craft, the human touch, and the desperate necessity that breathes life into raw materials. A low, rhythmic tremor begins to pulse through the frozen ground beneath your feet. It's subtle at first, barely a vibration, but quickly deepens. A profound, visceral rumble that seems to bypass your ears and resonate directly in your bones. You feel it in the soles of your worn hide boots, then spreading up your legs, a deep-seated hum that vibrates in your chest, in the very marrow of your being. It's too heavy, too consistent, to be the wind or a distant rockfall. This is something alive, something immense, something moving. You freeze, your hand instinctively gripping the cold, rough shaft of your spear. Your companion, a few paces ahead, stops instantly, his head snapping up, his body taut. He's felt it too. His eyes, narrowed against the biting wind. Meet yours across the desolate, snow-covered landscape, a silent question passing between you, already knowing the answer. There's no need for words. The shared sensation is a primal message, unmistakable and terrifying. Then, the wind shifts, and it's there. A potent, wild scent, raw and musky, carried on the icy breeze. It hits your nostrils with a jolt, sharp and earthy, cutting through the usual metallic tang of cold air and damp earth. It's the smell of fur, of immense, untamed animal, a living presence that feels both ancient and overwhelmingly powerful. You inhale deeply, flaring your nostrils, trying to capture more of that elusive, vital information. It's closer than you thought, closer than you'd like. The tremor intensifies, a slow, thunderous beat echoing through the ground. Your eyes sweep the horizon, piercing the swirling curtain of fine, wind-whipped snow, desperately searching for any sign of a shifting shape. A dark mass against the pale gray sky. But there's nothing, just the vast, empty expanse, the subtle undulations of the frozen plains. Yet the presence is undeniable, felt through the ground, breathed in with the very air. It's the haunting knowledge of colossal hooves, unseen but profoundly felt, pounding a slow, deliberate rhythm somewhere beyond your sight. Your companion lowers his head slightly, a subtle gesture of acute concentration, his nostrils flaring, pulling in more of that potent scent. He points a finger, a barely perceptible movement, towards a distant, hazy rise, where the tremor seems strongest, where the wild, musky aroma hangs heaviest. His face is grim, a mask of focused intensity. This isn't just an animal, it's a force of nature, a moving mountain of muscle and instinct, embodying immense power. The very air seems to crackle with its unseen presence, a profound and terrifying potential that fills your senses, demanding every ounce of your attention, every fiber of your being. Your pulse quickens, a frantic drumbeat against the steady, heavy tremor of the earth itself. It makes you truly understand, doesn't it? How deeply our primal senses connect us to the unseen forces of the world, and how the raw power of nature, even when hidden, can leave such an undeniable, profound impression on your very core. The ground hammers beneath your feet, a relentless, jarring rhythm against the frozen earth. Your lungs burn, raw and aching with every ragged breath, the frigid air searing deep into your chest, but you push, harder, faster. Ahead, a great woolly mammoth, a moving mountain of shaggy fur and ancient power, thunders across the tundra. Its colossal hooves shake the ground, a deep, resonant tremor that vibrates up your legs, through your spine, and into your very core. The musky, earthy scent of its thick hide, mixed with the sharp tang of exertion, fills your nostrils, pulling you forward with an irresistible, primal urgency. Your spear, heavy and cold in your hand, feels both an extension of your arm and an impossibly small weapon against such immense might. You sprint, dodging a low-lying, snow-covered gnarled bush, your eyes never leaving the swaying, shaggy flanks of the beast. Your companion, a blur of fur and focused determination to your left, keeps pace, moving with a silent, synchronized grace. You both run with a desperate, all-consuming purpose, a dance of predator and prey that has been performed for millennia, the stakes nothing less than life or death. One wrong step, one stumble on the treacherous ice, one miscalculation of the animal's unpredictable charge, and you could be crushed, gored, left for the scavengers in this brutal, indifferent landscape. The taste of adrenaline is metallic and bitter in your dry mouth. You feel the searing burn in your thigh muscles, the relentless ache in your calves, but you ignore it, pushing past the pain. There is no option but to continue, to close the distance, to bring down this moving mountain. For weeks the hunger has been a dull, constant throb, a relentless gnawing. This animal, this magnificent, powerful beast, represents everything. Food that will last your community for days, thick hides for warmth, bone for tools, fat for fuel. It is the difference between survival and succumbing to the cold, between life and oblivion. The sheer scale of the reward justifies the unimaginable risk, the desperate, heart-pounding gamble. You imagine, for a fleeting second, the pristine, sanitized shelves of a modern grocery store, overflowing with individually packaged meat, effortlessly acquired, distant from any struggle. Here, every ounce of sustenance is paid for, in sweat, in risk, in the raw, terrifying embrace of danger. The breath of the mammoth, hot and steaming, seems to hang in the air, a physical manifestation of its power, its wild freedom that you are trying to conquer. The wind whips past your ears, carrying the sound of your own ragged breathing and the thunderous, desperate pounding of both your heart and the earth beneath the beast's hooves. It's a profound realization, isn't it, that for so long the very act of eating was not a given, but a daring, life-threatening act of will. It makes you feel, deep in your bones, the ancient, fierce connection between life, death, and the hard-won sustenance that binds them together. You grip the raw, unyielding core of flint, its rough surface cold and abrasive against your calloused palm. In your other hand, a smaller, denser hammerstone, heavy and smooth from countless previous strikes. You bring it down, not with brute force, but with a deliberate, calculated precision. Crack! The sound is sharp, abrupt, echoing in the confined space of the cave, a quick, almost violent punctuation in the quiet. A tiny, razor-thin flake of stone shears away, spiraling through the air for a brief moment before clattering softly to the dirt at your feet. The impact sends a faint tremor up your arm, but your focus remains absolute, a tunnel vision on the nascent blade. Dusty grit, a fine powder of pulverized rock, clings to your hands, coating your skin with a dry, earthy texture. You turn the flint, inspecting the newly exposed surface, searching for the next point of leverage, the next delicate chip to remove. Every strike is a gamble, a dialogue with the stone. Too hard, and it shatters, useless. Too soft, and it stubbornly refuses to yield its hidden edge. Your eyes, narrowed in concentration, track the intricate patterns, the minute fissures within the rock, trying to anticipate its break. Your breath is held, a small, quiet act of discipline. You bring the hammerstone down again, another sharp, precise crack, and another perfect flake detaches, leaving behind a new, savagely keen facet. You feel the cold, sharp edge with your thumb, a warning sting against your toughened skin, a testament to the lethality you are coaxing into being. This isn't merely shaping, it's a meticulous, painstaking birthing of a functional, life-saving edge from inert rock. Your companion, across the low, flickering fire, watches you. His own flint knife lies beside him, its edge perhaps needing refinement. He doesn't speak, but his gaze is intense, acknowledging the profound skill, the unwavering patience required. He understands the absolute necessity of this quiet, focused craft. Each perfectly formed spear point, each expertly sharpened scraper, is a link in the chain of survival. Without these tools, without this meticulous precision, the hunt fails. The hides are poorly prepared. The winter's bite becomes insurmountable. The rhythmic crack and the dusty grit become an extension of your being, a physical manifestation of your will to survive. You are not just making a tool. You are forging a future, a forgotten art, in a world where such direct, desperate skill has been outsourced to machines. The satisfaction of that keen edge, cool and deadly to the touch, is a profound, visceral triumph. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? How deeply intertwined human ingenuity is with our very survival, and how the patient, precise craft of giving a raw stone a lethal edge was once the most vital art of all, a silent promise against the overwhelming indifference of the wild. You sit low to the ground, your legs aching from the constant cold, yet your focus is absolute. A single-minded intensity that blots out the wider world. In your hands, a rough piece of flint, its potential hidden within. You cradle it with meticulous care, feeling its weight, its cold, unyielding nature. Then, with a smaller, antler-tipped tool, you begin to press. Not hammer, but press. A slow, deliberate force, targeting a minuscule point on the stone's edge. Smosh tick. A whisper-soft sound as a tiny, perfect flake of flint detaches, falling silently to the dirt at your feet. Your eyes, narrowed, almost squinting in the dim firelight, scrutinize the new surface, searching for the grain, reading the subtle lines, predicting the stone's next yield. This isn't brute force. It's a profound, intimate dialogue with the rock itself, an understanding of its inherent weaknesses, its hidden strengths. You feel the grit of the powdered stone clinging to your calloused fingertips, a constant, abrasive presence. Each deliberate press, each precisely controlled flake, is a testament to unwavering patience, to countless hours spent learning this ancient, vital art. The slightest error, a moment of lapsed focus, could shatter the entire piece, rendering hours of effort and precious material utterly useless. You work slowly, rhythmically, the small sounds of flint shearing from flint becoming a meditative hum in the quiet cave. The sharp, clean edges you are creating are not accidental. They are painstakingly coaxed into being, one tiny, pressure-flaked chip at a time. This spear point, this scraper, isn't just a tool. It's a meticulously crafted extension of your will to survive. Its keenness will determine the success of the next hunt, the efficiency of skinning a hide, the difference between warmth and freezing, between a full belly and gnawing hunger. The very life of your community rests on this quiet, focused skill. Your companion, observing from across the fire, offers a slow, approving nod. No words are needed. He understands the profound skill, the absolute necessity. His own tools, hard-won and carefully maintained, are evidence of the same dedication. You think, briefly, of your other life, a world of automated factories, of tools mass-produced with a sterile efficiency, of blades that appear on demand with a click. Here, every single lethal edge, every cutting surface, every piece of functional artistry is born from direct, desperate human effort, from a profound, intimate understanding of the raw earth. This is a forgotten art, a primal language spoken in stone. The cold, unforgiving edge of the finished spear point, cool and smooth beneath your thumb, is more than just a sharpened rock. It's a defiant promise against the overwhelming indifference of the Ice Age, a testament to the enduring human capacity for ingenuity and meticulous craft, knowing that your very existence rests on the silent, unwavering precision of your hands. It makes you understand, doesn't it? How deeply survival once hinged on raw skill, on the patient precision of human hands, and how much of that vital connection to the very act of creating our own world has been lost in our automated, effortless lives. The rhythmic crunch, crunch, crunch of snow and brittle ice beneath your worn hide boots is the only constant in this desolate world. Each step is a dull thud against the endless white, a monotonous, hypnotic sound that marks the slow, agonizing passage of time. Your legs burn with a deep, persistent ache, every muscle protesting the relentless effort of hauling your heavy pack across the uneven, frozen terrain. The cold seeps up from the ground, through your layers, settling deep in your joints, a constant, gnawing presence. The wind, a ceaseless, invisible tormentor, whips across your face. Your exposed skin, already raw and painfully chapped from days of exposure, feels like it's being flayed, each gust a fresh, searing sting that makes your eyes water involuntarily. You pull your fur hood tighter, burying your chin deeper, but there's no escaping its biting assault. Your lips are cracked, your nose numb, every breath burning in your lungs as if inhaling shards of ice. The metallic tang of cold air and a faint, musky scent of distant animal are your only companions beyond the immediate struggle. You lift your gaze, scanning the horizon, but there is nothing, just a vast, featureless expanse of white and gray, stretching endlessly in every direction, blurring into the pale, overcast sky. No landmarks, no distant trees, no discernible path. The sheer, overwhelming emptiness is a profound weight, a constant reminder of how utterly alone and insignificant you are in this primordial landscape. The future is an unknown, a blank canvas of ice and wind, and you are simply moving into it, step by agonizing step. Your companion, a few paces ahead, is a hunched form against the monotony, his own movements labored, his head bowed. He doesn't look back. There's no need. You both feel the same exhaustion, the same biting cold, the same relentless pull of the unknown. A low grunt escapes his lips as he struggles over a particularly treacherous patch of compacted snow, and you hear the dry rasp of his furs. This shared struggle, this silent endurance, is the only comfort in the vast, indifferent silence of the tundra. Every breath is a battle, every step a desperate act of will against the overwhelming power of the Ice Age. The relentless crunch, the searing pain, the terrifying blankness of the horizon, they all converge, demanding your absolute, unwavering commitment to simply keep moving forward, towards whatever the unseen future holds. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? How deeply courage is tied, not to grand heroics, but to the simple, unwavering act of putting one foot in front of the other, day after agonizing day, when the path ahead is utterly, terrifyingly unknown. The biting wind whips at your face, tugging at the heavy, smoke-cured furs strapped to your back. Each step you take across the uneven, frozen ground is a conscious effort, a relentless push against the biting cold and the immense, shifting weight of your pack. You feel the rough texture of the hide straps digging into your shoulders, the dull ache of the burden becoming a constant companion, a physical manifestation of everything you own, everything that keeps you alive. It's not just food and fire-starting tools. It's spare furs, meticulously crafted spear points, a few precious bundles of dried herbs, each item vital, each a testament to hard-won survival. You move with a quiet, deliberate rhythm, your eyes scanning the desolate landscape, not for roads or signs, but for subtle changes in the terrain, the slight rise of a distant ridge, the direction of a gnarled, wind-sculpted tree. Your companion, a few paces ahead, glances back, a silent check, his face grim but resolute. There are no maps here, no compasses, no guiding voices from a speaker. Your navigation is an ancient, intuitive dance, a deep, ingrained knowledge of the land, passed down through generations, honed by countless nomadic journeys across this brutal wilderness. You rely on the sun's low arc during the day, the faint, earthy scent of distant water sources, and the whisper of the wind carrying promises or warnings. As night falls, the darkness is absolute, heavy and cold, broken only by the shimmering, impossible brilliance of the stars above. You lie wrapped in your furs, feeling the earth's deep chill against your spine, your breath pluming white. You look up, and the constellations are not just distant pinpricks of light. They are a celestial map, a familiar guide in the vast, inky blackness. You trace the familiar patterns, feeling a profound, ancient connection to the sky, a silent promise of direction. Your companion, also gazing upwards, points a calloused finger to a bright cluster, a subtle confirmation of your path, a shared reliance on the unchanging heavens. This isn't a leisure trip, a quick hop across a continent. This is an arduous, relentless migration, a constant movement, dictated by the hunt, by the search for slightly less barren lands, by the very survival of your small group. You think of the effortless, map-guided, climate-controlled travel of your other life. The speed, the convenience, the utter detachment from the physical world. Here, every mile is earned, every direction deeply felt, every possession a cherished, essential weight. You are utterly, viscerally connected to the journey itself, a small, resilient speck moving across the vast, indifferent face of the Ice Age. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? That travel, in its most elemental form, is not about the destination alone, but about the profound, arduous journey, the deep, spiritual connection forged with the land and sky, and the resilient human spirit's unwavering will to move forward, guided by ancient wisdom and an unbreakable purpose. The air in the cave is thick, not just with wood smoke and damp earth, but with a new, potent smell. Blood, raw and metallic, mingling with the sharp, acrid scent of sweat and profound, primal fear. It assaults your senses, immediate and overwhelming, a visceral indicator of the intensity unfolding in the hushed corner. Your stomach clenches, a knot of dread and helpless anticipation. From deep within the huddled circle of women, a raw, guttural cry tears through the quiet, vibrating off the ancient rock walls, ragged and piercing, then fading into a strained groan. It's a sound that speaks of agony, of immense physical struggle, an ancient, animalistic call of labor that transcends any language. You shift uncomfortably on the cold, hard ground, your eyes fixed on the flickering shadows cast by the fire, dancing wildly around the figures gathered tightly. They are a huddle of dark forms, their backs to you, shielding the birthing woman, offering what little privacy and protection they can. You can feel the palpable tension radiating from them, a collective breath held, a silent prayer echoing in the confined space. Every muscle in their bodies seems taut, every movement deliberate, as if they are trying to absorb some of the pain, to lend their own strength to the woman's monumental effort. Another cry, sharper this time, rips through the air, quickly followed by a low, comforting murmur from an elder, her voice a soft hum against the raw anguish. You catch a glimpse of the woman's clenched hand, white-knuckled, digging into the earth, her face contorted in a silent scream. Her breathing is shallow, ragged, punctuated by desperate gasps. The cold of the cave, usually a constant torment, feels almost secondary now, overshadowed by this intense, all-consuming drama. This isn't just birth, it's a life-or-death battle, fiercely fought in the dim light of an Ice Age cave. Your companion, usually stoic, has edged closer to the circle, his broad shoulders slightly hunched, his gaze fixed intently on the scene. His usual grim expression is replaced by a look of deep concern, of primal anxiety for the vulnerable life struggling to emerge. The silence that follows each cry is almost heavier than the sounds themselves, filled with profound uncertainty, with the desperate, universal hope for a new, fragile soul to survive this brutal entry into the world. You can feel the urgency in the air, the immense, precious value of a life about to be born into such an unforgiving existence. Every moment feels stretched, immense, holding the fate of a tiny, new future. It makes you truly understand, doesn't it? How utterly profound and terrifying the act of birth is, especially when stripped bare of modern safety nets, leaving only raw instinct, communal support, and the fierce, enduring will to bring new life into a relentless world. A new sound, impossibly fragile, slices through the air, replacing the raw cries of labor. It's a small, reedy gasp, then a tiny, insistent wail, so utterly vulnerable it makes your chest ache. The collective tension in the cave, thick moments ago, now releases in a shuddering breath. A silent, shared wave of profound relief, quickly replaced by a new, fierce protectiveness. You see the mother, exhausted but fiercely alert, pull the tiny bundle closer to her chest. Immediately, another woman, an elder, presses in, wrapping thick, soft furs around the newborn, layer upon layer, until only a tiny pink face peeks out. You can feel the warmth radiating from the small, tight huddle of bodies around the mother and child, a living shield against the relentless cold of the Ice Age cave. The air, though still carrying a faint, metallic tang of birth, is now sweetened by the delicate, milky scent of new life. You crane your neck, catching a glimpse of the minuscule face. It's impossibly small, delicate, its tiny fists balled, its mouth a perfect miniature rosebud. The flickering firelight casts deep shadows, making the child appear even more fragile, a spark of life in an immense, indifferent world. Every tiny breath it takes is a profound victory. Every faint stirring of its limbs a miracle. This isn't a world where survival is assured. Infant mortality is a brutal, constant shadow. This child, this precious new soul, is a rare treasure, a defiant flicker against the vastness of oblivion, demanding every ounce of communal warmth and protection. Your companion, his usual grim face softened, watches with an intensity you rarely see. He slowly moves closer, adding his own body heat to the protective circle, his large hand gently brushing the side of the mother's arm, a silent gesture of unwavering support. The entire small group shifts, instinctively forming a tighter, warmer cocoon around the new life, their eyes reflecting a shared, profound sense of wonder and desperate hope. The low crackle of the fire, usually just a source of heat, now feels like a lullaby, a primal song of vigilance. You think, briefly, of your other life, a world where the survival of a newborn is almost a given, secured by sterile hospitals, by a myriad of scientific advancements. Here, every single day, every single breath, is a hard-won triumph, celebrated with a silent, fierce gratitude. The sheer, immense value of this tiny, vulnerable life, so dependent on the collective will of the community, settles deep within your soul. It's a stark reminder of what truly matters, of the fierce, enduring power of life, and the unwavering spirit of humanity in its rawest form. The bitter, acrid taste of chewed herbs explodes on your tongue. A shocking, unpleasant flavor that makes your entire face contort. It's an unfamiliar blend of deep earth and sharp medicinal tang, so potent it feels like it's scraping the inside of your mouth, leaving a dry, rough residue on your teeth. You swallow, forcing it down, a grimace forming even as a faint warmth, a subtle, spreading fire begins to bloom in your throat. This isn't a sweetened syrup or a precisely measured pill. It's the raw, unadulterated essence of the earth, forced to yield its ancient, powerful secrets. From the deepest corner of the dim cave, a low, pain-filled moan echoes, thin and desperate, vibrating off the ancient rock walls. It's the sound of a young woman, her body racked with fever, her breath shallow and uneven. You turn your head, your eyes, accustomed to the gloom, straining to see past the flickering firelight. An elder woman, her face a map of deep lines, kneels beside the sick one, her hands moving with unpracticed, ancient certainty. She takes a hand-sized lump of crushed bark and dried leaves, bound together with sinew, and applies it to the young woman's inflamed skin. You see the raw, angry redness of the wound, radiating heat even from this distance. Then comes the touch, rough, cool, and damp, the bark poultice adhering to the feverish flesh. The contrast is immediate, almost visceral, a sudden shock of cold against the burning skin, promising a tiny, precious moment of relief. The air in this part of the cave is now thick with the strong, earthy scent of these potent remedies, mingling with the familiar wood smoke and damp stone, a primal perfume of sickness and desperate healing. Your companion, huddled beside you, shifts uncomfortably, his gaze fixed on the scene, his brow furrowed with a shared concern. Others in the small group cast frequent, anxious glances towards the corner, their faces reflecting a deep, collective fear and helplessness. There are no machines here, no sterile environments, only the Earth's rough bounty, ancient knowledge, and the unwavering communal weight of hope. Another low moan, softer this time, escapes the woman's lips, a testament to her enduring pain, but perhaps, also, a faint whisper of easing. You watch the elder work, her gnarled fingers gentle but firm, knowing that this isn't just medicine. It's a sacred pact with nature, a desperate appeal to forces beyond human control. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? How immediate, how raw, and how profoundly reliant on ancestral wisdom the act of healing once was. A far cry from the antiseptic distance of our modern approach to illness. The heavy, earthy scent of medicinal herbs now completely dominates the air in the cave, pushing past the usual wood smoke and damp rock. It's a pungent, almost acrid aroma, a profound blend of bitter roots and sharp, aromatic leaves, so strong you can almost taste it. You watch as the elder, her face a map of ancient wisdom, gently lifts the head of the sick woman. Her hand, gnarled and surprisingly strong, presses a cup made from a hollowed horn to the woman's lips. The sick woman groans, a low, pain-filled sound, but you see her struggle to swallow, the liquid a dark, unfamiliar concoction. You can almost taste the bitter tang yourself, a profound knowing of what that raw, potent remedy must feel like sliding down a feverish throat. The elder's fingers then move, deftly replacing the cool bark poultice on the woman's inflamed leg. You see the raw, red skin, still radiating heat, but perhaps a fraction less angry than before. The rough, cool touch of the new dressing, infused with fresh, damp herbs, offers another moment of visceral relief against the burning fever. It's a painstaking, relentless battle, waged with nature's own arsenal, each application, each swallow, a desperate plea for healing. Your companions, a small circle of silent, watchful figures, remain close. One woman sits just behind the sick one, her arm gently supporting her back, offering a steady, unwavering warmth. Another, a younger man, has his eyes fixed on the elder's hands, absorbing every precise movement, every gesture of ancient care. There are no loud pronouncements, no dramatic interventions, just a quiet, profound solidarity, a communal solace that wraps around the sick, pulling them back from the brink with shared human warmth and focused intent. You feel the collective breath held, the shared anxiety, the deep, unspoken hope. This isn't a sterile room, a gleaming hospital with its array of machines and precisely measured dosages. This is the earth, raw and unyielding, yielding its secrets to those who have learned to listen. It's the inherited wisdom of generations, passed down through touch, through observation, through the bitter taste of an herb found in the frozen ground. You think of the impersonal efficiency of modern medicine, the pills, the detached diagnoses. Here, healing is a deeply personal, communal act, imbued with ancestral knowledge, profound empathy, and a relentless, fierce will to preserve every precious life. The sick woman stirs again, a soft sigh escaping her lips, her breathing a little less ragged now. It's a tiny, almost imperceptible shift, but in this world, it's a profound victory, a testament to the enduring power of ancient wisdom and unwavering human connection. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it, that medicine isn't just about chemicals and sterile environments, but about the deep human connection, the inherited wisdom and the communal warmth that, in a world stripped bare, become the most powerful remedies of all. The rhythmic, hypnotic thrum, thrum, thrum of the drum begins. A deep, resonant pulse that doesn't just fill the air, but vibrates through the very rock beneath you, up your legs and into your chest. You feel it in your bones, a primal beat that seems to synchronize with your own heartbeat, pulling you into a deeper state of awareness. The air, thick with the earthy scent of burning herbs, a blend of pungent dried sage, sweet juniper, and something musky and unknown, swirls around you, prickling your nostrils, cleansing your thoughts, preparing you for something ancient and profound. Your eyes are fixed on the cave walls, where the flickering firelight dances, transforming the painted figures of bison, horses, and abstract symbols into living, breathing entities. The shadows they cast are immense, stretching and shrinking, elongating the animals, making them appear to leap and sway to the drum's beat. It's mesmerizing, a visual spell woven by flame and ancient art. You see the rough texture of the rock, brought to life by the moving light, the pigments of ochre and charcoal seeming to shift and pulse. You can almost feel the presence of the artists who, millennia ago, left these vibrant marks, their hands tracing the very same lines you now watch come alive. You feel the slight shifts of your companions around you, their bodies swaying almost imperceptibly with the rhythm. Their faces, illuminated by the fire's glow, are expressions of deep concentration, their gazes fixed on the walls, just like yours. There's a profound, communal silence, broken only by the drum and the crackle of the fire, a shared reverence that binds you all together in this sacred space. The cold of the cave, usually a constant torment, recedes, replaced by an inner warmth, a connection to something immense and ancient. The earthy, sacred scent of the communal ritual deepens, making the air itself feel charged, thin between worlds. You inhale deeply, feeling it permeate your lungs, your blood, a physical link to the spirits evoked by the drum and the art. This isn't entertainment. It's a profound, immersive experience, a journey into the spiritual heart of the Ice Age. The world outside, harsh and unforgiving, temporarily fades, replaced by this vibrant, pulsating universe within the rock, where the lines between animal, human, and spirit blur. And the past is startlingly present. You are witnessing and participating in a primal communion. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? How deeply human it is to seek connection beyond the tangible, to find meaning and solace in shared ritual and the ancient echoes of art. It's a powerful reminder of how our ancestors used sound, light, and scent to weave a spiritual fabric that sustained them against a terrifying, indifferent world. You run your calloused fingers across the rough, cool surface of the cave wall, tracing the thick, raised lines of a painted bison. It's not just an image. It feels alive, imbued with the spirit of the animal itself. The ochre pigments, deep and vibrant in the flickering firelight, seem to pulse with an inner energy, drawing you into its ancient gaze. You notice the subtle nuances in its posture, the way its powerful shoulders are rendered, the curve of its horn, a profound understanding of its very essence, not just its physical form. This isn't merely a picture of a beast you hunt. It's a window into its soul, a sacred bridge between your world and theirs. The air, still carrying the earthy scent of the burning herbs from the ritual, now feels charged, a conduit for something far older and deeper than simple breath. You step back, letting your gaze sweep across the entire tableau of art. Mammoth, deer, enigmatic symbols. They don't seem randomly placed. Instead, they tell a story, a cosmic map of interconnection. You see a series of dots aligning with a constellation you recognize from freezing nights under the vast, star-strewn sky. A hunter, barely discernible, seems to merge with the outline of a bear, blurring the lines between human and animal, hunter and hunted. Your companion stands nearby, his head tilted, his eyes lost in the same ancient narrative. He points a finger, not touching the wall, but gesturing towards a geometric pattern that spirals upward, away from the animals, hinting at realms beyond the physical hunt. There's an unspoken reverence in his posture, a shared understanding that these walls are not just decoration, but a cosmology, a profound explanation of the universe, of your place within the intricate dance of life and death. The spirits of the animals, of the ancestors, of the very cosmos, are woven into the rough rock, made tangible by the pigments and the flickering light. You feel a profound sense of belonging, a deep connection to generations past, to their struggles and their awe. The art isn't about mere survival. It's about making sense of that survival, about embedding it within a larger spiritual framework. It tells you that the animals you hunt are not just meat. They are sacred beings, part of a vast, interconnected web that extends from the deepest earth to the highest stars. Every kill is a sacrifice, every birth a blessing, every death a return to the cosmic flow. This depth of understanding, this visceral spiritual link, feels incredibly potent, a stark contrast to the often secular, scientific explanations of your modern world. It makes you truly understand, doesn't it, how deeply integrated art, spirituality, and survival once were, forming an unbreakable tapestry of meaning. How our ancestors found profound connection and cosmology in the world around them, a depth of engagement that, in our modern age, we often seek and rarely find. You scrape away a final layer of wind-blown snow from the sheltered side of a gnarled, low-lying bush. Your fingers, already numb and stiff from the persistent cold, brush against something unexpected. A cluster of tiny, dark berries, miraculously preserved, almost frozen solid. They look withered, shrunken, but a faint, sweet aroma, barely perceptible, whispers through the frigid air. It's a scent so utterly alien to the usual musky tang of hide and damp earth that it jolts your senses. A flicker of pure, unadulterated curiosity. You pluck one carefully, its cold surface firm against your thumb and forefinger. It's impossibly small, yet feels like a precious jewel. You bring it to your mouth, your tongue dry from the biting wind, and place it gently. Then the taste hits you. It's an explosive, shocking sweetness, a burst of intense, sugary tang that spreads across your tongue, momentarily overriding all other sensations. The berry, though tiny, seems to burst with a concentrated essence of summer, a profound, almost dizzying delight in an existence so utterly devoid of such vibrant flavors. Its sticky juice coats your fingers, a vibrant purple stain that you don't even think to wipe away. Your eyes widen, a genuine, unbidden smile fighting its way onto your chapped lips. It's a profound visceral pleasure, a fleeting gift from a world that usually offers only stark survival. You glance at your companion, who has been quietly watching your discovery. His eyes, usually sharp and wary, hold a rare, almost childlike wonder, and you see him reach out, plucking a berry for himself. He pops it into his mouth, and a slow, spreading grin, mirroring your own, breaks across his face. A silent, shared moment of pure, unbridled joy. A connection forged not through words, but through the overwhelming, unexpected taste of something truly exquisite. You continue to pluck the small, resilient berries, each one a tiny miracle, savoring its rare sweetness, its fleeting burst of flavor against the bitter cold. The juice stains your lips, a badge of unexpected delight. In a world where food is often tough, fibrous, or simply raw, where sustenance is measured in calories and sheer survival, this tiny, explosive sweetness is a profound reminder of a different kind of nourishment, a forgotten pleasure. It's a brief, brilliant flicker of pure delight, a stark contrast to the relentless harshness of your daily battle for existence, a taste of grace in an otherwise flavor-scarce life. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? How deeply impactful a simple, rare pleasure can be when every other moment is defined by struggle. How something as small as a wild berry can deliver a profound burst of delight. A stark reminder of the richness we often take for granted in a world of endless, effortless choices. You plunge your digging stick into the partially thawed earth, the sharp, cold stone tip meeting resistance. It's not frozen solid, but dense, unforgiving. You push, straining your arm, feeling the vibrations up to your shoulder. The soil is damp, clinging to the rough wood, releasing a profound, earthy smell that speaks of deep, buried life, of nutrients wrestled from the ground. Your fingers, calloused and stiff from the persistent chill, scrape away at the surface, feeling the gritty texture of mud and tiny pebbles. This isn't a casual search. It's a meticulously calculated effort, guided by generations of inherited knowledge, a desperate seasonal gamble for vital sustenance. Your eyes scan the sparse, low-lying vegetation, searching for the telltale signs. You know which weeds, which withered stalks, hint at the presence of edible roots beneath. Your gaze is sharp, discerning, trained to see the subtle patterns, the almost invisible promises, in a landscape that mostly appears barren. You remember the taste of certain roots from seasons past, the bitter crunch, the starchy earthiness, the fibrous texture that provided precious calories when meat was scarce. The wind carries a faint, metallic scent, but beneath it, if you concentrate, you can discern the faint, specific aroma of certain underground treasures, a whisper from the earth. You spot a particular cluster of dried leaves, barely emerging from a patch of thawing snow. This is it. You kneel, ignoring the cold, damp seeping into your furs, and begin to dig with renewed vigor, using both your stick and your bare, freezing hands. The cold mud pastes itself onto your skin, an uncomfortable but necessary sacrifice. Your companion, a few paces away, is doing the same, his face etched with intense concentration, his own movements methodical. He unearths a gnarled, dark root, its surface rough with clinging earth, and offers a fleeting, satisfied nod in your direction, a small, silent victory. You eventually free a root yourself, thick and twisted, almost black with the damp earth. You rub it against your fur to remove the worst of the mud, then bite into it. The taste is immediate, earthy, slightly bitter, and profoundly satisfying. It's not sweet, not rich, but it's sustenance, a direct, raw connection to the earth's bounty. This single root, hard-won from the unyielding ground, holds more value, more meaning, than any perfectly ripe, brightly colored vegetable in a modern supermarket. You think of endless aisles, of limitless choices available year-round, utterly disconnected from the perilous, seasonal hunt for survival. Here, this is a treasure, a gift wrestled from the Ice Age itself, a fleeting but vital addition to your dwindling stores. Every successful find is a triumph, every empty patch a chilling reminder of how precarious your existence truly is. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? How much we take for granted in our world of effortless abundance. How the deepest satisfaction, the profoundest appreciation for food, comes when it is hard-won, seasonal, and connects you directly to the life-giving, often challenging, rhythms of the natural world. The sharp coppery scent of fresh blood immediately assails your nostrils, thick and metallic, overpowering the usual tang of damp earth and wood smoke. It hangs heavy in the crisp, frigid air, a potent perfume that screams of recent violence, of life recently extinguished. You know this smell. It's the scent of hard-won survival, yes, but also a beacon, a siren call to every hungry creature within miles. Your stomach clenches, not with hunger this time, but with a visceral understanding of the imminent danger. From the shadowy edges of the distant tree line, a low, guttural snarl ripples through the silence. It's followed by another, closer this time, a deeper rumble that vibrates through the frozen ground, not loud, but menacing, a promise of teeth and hunger. Unseen scavengers. They are circling, drawn by the same intoxicating scent that now saturates the air around the fresh kill, a massive woolly rhino, its immense form slowly being butchered by other members of your small group. The raw, freezing air makes the scent of blood even more potent, a constant, chilling reminder of the untamed food chain you are now a very real part of. You shift your weight, your spear gripped tight in your numb hands, its flint point gleaming dully in the pale, overcast light. Your eyes, red-rimmed and burning from the wind and lack of sleep, constantly sweep the periphery. Every shifting shadow, every whisper of the wind is a potential threat, a shape in the vast, desolate landscape. Your companion, a few paces away, stands with his back to the carcass, his own spear held ready, his gaze fixed on a different quadrant. You feel the intense, focused energy emanating from him, mirroring your own, a shared vigilance that needs no words. This isn't a moment for rest, for celebration. It's a moment of fierce, primal defense. The low growls intensify, becoming more frequent, punctuated by sharp yips and the faint, dry crackle of frozen twigs snapping under unseen paws. They are testing you, probing your defenses, their hunger, a palpable presence that feels almost physical in the air. The hairs on the back of your neck prickle, a primal alarm bell ringing deep within you. You stomp your foot on the frozen ground, a deliberate, aggressive sound meant to carry on the wind, a desperate assertion of your claim. Your companion grunts, a deep, rumbling sound in his chest, echoing the warning. You are not just human. You are a predator, protecting your kill from other predators, a vital link in the ancient, brutal chain of life and death. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it, that for countless millennia, securing food wasn't just about the hunt, but about the relentless, often terrifying, battle to keep it. How profoundly different that makes the simple act of eating, when every meal is a hard-won victory, fiercely defended against the wild, untamed forces of nature that constantly surround you. The thick, coppery scent of fresh blood, already a constant presence, intensifies around the fallen beast. It's no longer just a warning. It's an invitation, a pulsating beacon for every hungry eye and sharp tooth on the vast, indifferent tundra. You feel the cold, smooth shaft of your spear, its flint tip sharp and heavy in your grip, a solid anchor against the gnawing anxiety in your gut. Your eyes, strained from hours of constant vigilance, sting from the wind, but they sweep relentlessly across the swirling snow, searching for movement, for shadows that are too dark, too still. From the twilight edges of the sparse tree line, the guttural snarls intensify, no longer distant whispers but bold challenges. You hear the distinct thump-thump of heavy paws on frozen ground, then a quick, low growl, closer now, just beyond the reach of the firelight. Unseen predators. They are getting bolder, their hunger overcoming their caution, their patience wearing thin. You can almost feel their eyes on you, burning with a desperate, animalistic need for the vital meat that lies before your small group. The metallic tang of blood mixes with a raw, musky animal scent, a potent brew that sharpens every one of your senses. You shift your weight, your body tense, ready to spring. Your companion, a few paces away, catches your eye. His head gives a barely perceptible jerk towards the source of the closest snarl, his grip tightening on his own weapon. No words are needed. The understanding is immediate, profound. You are a living wall, a defiant barrier of human will and sharpened stone, defending this hard-won bounty. Others in your group work with desperate speed, carving chunks of meat from the massive carcass, their movements efficient, urgent, knowing that every precious moment of exposed vulnerability brings the scavengers closer. You hear the sharp scrape of flint on bone, a rhythmic counterpoint to the predators, growls. The wind whips up a sudden gust of fine snow, momentarily obscuring your vision, and a sharper, more frantic yelp pierces the air, alarmingly close. You instinctively take a step forward, raising your spear, letting out a low, guttural growl of your own, a primal challenge echoing the beasts. Your companion mirrors your move, a unified display of defiance. Your throat is dry, your pulse hammering against your ribs, but your resolve is unyielding. To lose this kill is to face certain starvation, to betray the painstaking effort, the immense risk that brought down this colossal beast. This isn't just about food. It's about the very survival of your lineage, a fierce communal protection of vital resources, an instinct so primal it hums in your very bones, completely muted in our secured, abundant modern world. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it, that for millennia, security wasn't just a concept, but a fierce, daily battle against a hungry world. How profound the instinct to protect becomes when every single resource means the difference between life and death, and how deeply communal survival is woven into the very fabric of our being. The raw, biting cold seeps into your bones, a constant, gnawing presence in the absolute darkness of the night. You huddle deeper, drawing your thick, smoke-cured furs tighter. But the chill still penetrates, finding every seam, every minuscule gap, just as a wave of shivers threatens to consume you. A strong, calloused hand finds yours in the darkness, gripping it with a firm, unwavering pressure. Its texture is rough, familiar, ingrained with the memory of countless tools and hard labor. Yet its touch now conveys a profound, wordless reassurance. You feel the warmth of that hand, a small, radiating heat against your own numb fingers, a lifeline in the overwhelming cold. You are pressed shoulder to shoulder with several others, a tightly knit huddle of bodies, a living, breathing barrier against the brutal, outside world. The shared warmth, though still inadequate against the pervasive freeze, is a palpable presence, a collective shield woven from skin and fur. You can feel the slow, steady rhythm of your companion's breathing against your back, the solid weight of another's leg brushing against yours. The air, thick with the scent of damp earth, animal hide, and a faint, stale wood smoke, is still frigid, but within this small human core, a fragile pocket of life persists. The wind outside howls, a mournful, ceaseless lament that rattles the makeshift windbreak at the cave entrance, reminding you of the vast, indifferent wilderness you are defying. You shift slightly, turning your head, and catch the eye of the person whose hand you still hold. In the absolute blackness, their eyes are just barely visible, reflecting a faint, distant star through a crack in the rock, or perhaps the ghost of a memory of fire. There's no need for words, no elaborate gestures. The single, understanding glance conveys everything. Shared hardship, mutual reliance, a quiet, fierce resolve to face the unforgiving dawn together. It's a profound, unspoken comfort, a deep human connection forged in the crucible of absolute necessity. Your own breath plumes white in the frigid air, but the small, shared space of the huddle feels less hostile, less lonely. You feel the strength radiating from the bodies around you, a collective resilience that pushes back against the immense power of the Ice Age night. This isn't just about surviving the cold. It's about surviving it together, a truth more potent than any individual effort. Each beat of your heart feels synchronized with the slow, steady breathing of those around you, a testament to a primal bond. It makes you truly understand, doesn't it? How in a world stripped bare of all but the most essential, human connection isn't just a comfort, but an absolute necessity, a tangible, vital force that keeps oblivion at bay. The biting wind howls outside your makeshift shelter, a constant, mournful reminder of the vast, indifferent wilderness. But inside, pressed close against your companions, you feel the profound, pulsing warmth of many bodies huddled together. It's a living, breathing blanket, a shield of shared heat against the relentless freeze. Your hand, still clasped firmly in another's, feels the rough texture of calloused skin, the unwavering pressure, a silent testament to an unbreakable bond. You can feel the slow, steady rhythm of another's heart beating against your back, the soft exhalations of breath mingling with your own, creating a fragile pocket of life in the immense cold. You stir, stretching a stiff limb, and a gentle murmur from the person beside you acknowledges your movement. No need for words. The understanding is immediate, profound. You know that the hunt that brought back the day's meager meal was only possible because of coordinated effort, because of shared risk. One person distracted the woolly rhino, another tracked its path, while others prepared the pit. And when the beast fell, it was the collective strength of many hands that butchered it, dragged it back, and defended it against hungry scavengers. Every single calorie you consume, every single fur that warms you, every precious spark of fire is a direct result of this absolute, unyielding cooperation. You look around the small, dim circle of faces, illuminated by the low, flickering fire. Each one is etched with the harsh realities of this world. Wind-chapped skin, tired eyes, lines of struggle. Yet, in those eyes, you see not just exhaustion, but a fierce, unwavering resilience, a deep-seated trust, and a shared purpose that transcends individual needs. There's no isolation here, no one person fighting this battle alone. Every success is communal, every failure a shared burden. The very air you breathe feels different, imbued with the collective spirit, the profound, fierce human connection forged in shared hardship. You think, briefly, of your other life, a world of individual pursuits, of privacy, of often feeling utterly alone even amidst crowds. Here, individualism is a death sentence. Survival is woven into the fabric of the group, a constant, visceral reminder that you are part of something larger, something that demands your full contribution, but offers, in return, the most profound security and belonging imaginable. The shared scent of wood smoke, animal hide, and damp earth is the perfume of this unity. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? How deeply vital human connection and cooperation once were, not as a choice, but as the very foundation of survival. It reminds you how profound the bond of shared hardship can be, a stark contrast to our modern world, where comfort often breeds a quiet, insidious isolation. You brace yourself, gritting your teeth, and plunge your bare feet into the glacial meltwater. The agonizing sting is immediate. A shock so intense it makes your breath catch in your throat, searing through your skin, straight to the bone. It's not just cold, it's a living, malevolent force, numbing and burning all at once, threatening to paralyze your very will. You feel the treacherous slickness of the submerged rocks beneath your numb soles. Each step, a careful, desperate gamble against the powerful current that tugs relentlessly at your legs, trying to drag you downstream into the churning gray depths. The roar of the river is immense, deafening, a constant, thunderous presence that seems to vibrate through your entire body. It's the sound of countless tons of ice and snow melting, a relentless, indifferent power flowing with unstoppable force. The air above the water is thick, with a sharp, metallic tang, a profound dampness that instantly chills your lungs with every shallow, gasping breath. Your companion, a few paces ahead, is already halfway across. His body, a hunched form of grim determination, his own movements slow and deliberate, each step precisely calculated. He doesn't look back. There's no need. You both feel the same brutal assault, the same desperate urgency to reach the other side. You feel the pressure of the water against your thighs, an immense, unyielding force that tries to rip you off your feet. The current swirls, pulling at your furs, threatening to throw you off balance. Your hands, already stiff and raw from the biting air, grip your staff so tightly your knuckles are white. The rough wood a flimsy anchor against the river's immense power. A small patch of ice, barely visible beneath the churning surface, scrapes against your calf, a chilling reminder of the hidden dangers that lie beneath the deceitful flow. This isn't merely a crossing, it's a battle, a desperate act of defiance against a force of nature that cares nothing for your life. Your muscles scream in protest, burning with cold and exertion, but you push, one agonizing foot in front of the other. The thought of collapsing, of being swallowed by the frigid embrace of the glacial waters, is a cold, terrifying whisper at the back of your mind. You think, fleetingly, of the bridges and roads of your other life, the effortless, dry crossings over rivers tamed and contained. Here, the river is wild, untamed, utterly indifferent to your struggle, demanding every ounce of your strength, your focus, your sheer will to survive its immense, cold embrace. The scent of damp rock and icy water is a profound, chilling reminder of its power. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? How immense and terrifying the raw power of nature can be, and how fragile our existence is when confronted with forces so vast and utterly indifferent to our survival. You finally pull your numb, aching feet from the churning glacial river, each muscle screaming in protest, the agonizing cold still radiating from your soaked furs. You stumble onto the bank, gasping, but the air, though frigid, now carries a different promise. The metallic tang of cold river water is immediate, but beneath it, a profound clarity, an unmistakable freshness that speaks of purity. Your mouth is dry, parched from the arduous crossing, and the sight of the glittering, rushing water, despite its recent brutality, is now a beacon of life. Drop to your knees, ignoring the sharp bite of frozen earth, and cup your hands, scooping up the unbelievably clear, icy liquid. It's so cold it hurts, a sharp ache against your parched tongue, but the taste is unlike anything you've ever known in your modern life. It's raw, elemental, utterly pure, free of any hint of chemical or artificial treatment. Each swallow is a profound act of rehydration, a life-giving flow that chases away the deep-seated thirst, settling a cool, vital warmth in your empty stomach. You feel it spread, invigorating every cell, a tangible surge of energy from this wild, untamed source. As you drink, your eyes scan the eddies and calmer pools near the bank. You catch a flash of silver, then another, darting beneath the surface. Fish, small, quick, but undeniably present. This same formidable river, the one that threatened to sweep you away moments ago, is also a teeming larder, a vital source of protein in a landscape where every calorie is precious. You see your companion, having finished his own drink, already pulling a crude fishing spear from his pack, his gaze fixed intently on the darting shadows, a focused intensity that speaks of desperate need and ancient skill. The cold rush that once threatened your life now offers its profound bounty. The river's roar, while still immense, sounds different now. It's no longer just a deafening, indifferent force, but a living, breathing entity. A perilous barrier, yes, but also an indispensable lifeline. It demands respect, caution, and incredible effort to navigate, but in return, it offers the very essence of survival: water to drink, fish to eat, a path for the migration of game further south. You think of the endless, effortless flow of treated water from a tap in your other life, taken completely for granted, its source unknown, its purity unquestioned. Here, every drop is a precious gift, hard-won, intimately connected to the powerful, untamed heart of the earth. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? How deeply intertwined peril and sustenance can be in the wild, and how something as simple as clean water, effortlessly available today, was once a profound, dangerous treasure, fiercely guarded, and deeply revered. You press a lump of damp earth and crushed charcoal against your cheek, feeling its gritty, abrasive texture spread across your skin. It's cold, raw, leaving a dark, smudged streak that covers your face, breaking up the harsh lines of your features. You rub it in with the heel of your hand, feeling the fine, dry powder of charcoal mix with the damp mud, adhering to every contour, until you are no longer just human, but a part of the mottled, frozen ground. The faint, earthy smell of the mud, mixed with the acrid tang of burnt wood, fills your nostrils, a primal perfume of camouflage. You lie perfectly still, pressed low into a shallow depression, hidden amongst a cluster of sparse, wind-sculpted bushes. The pervasive cold of the frozen earth seeps through your furs, a constant, dull ache. But you ignore it, every nerve focused on the distant, unsuspecting herd of wild horses. The dry, brittle stalks of grass around you, stiff and yellowish from the endless winter, rustle softly against your fur-clad body with every faint shift of the wind, a subtle, almost imperceptible sound that you consciously mimic by holding your breath, deepening your stillness. You don't want to make a sound that isn't the wind, that isn't the landscape itself. Your eyes, narrowed to slits, peer through a tangle of frozen branches, scanning, waiting. You are not just observing, you are becoming an extension of the environment, a silent, unmoving part of the desolate tundra. Your breath is slow, shallow, controlled. Trying not to plume too visibly in the frigid air, you feel the profound, patient silence of this wild world all around you, broken only by the ceaseless whisper of the wind and the distant, almost imagined, thud of hooves on frozen earth. There's a deep, almost spiritual connection, a merging with the landscape, where your individual existence dissolves into the vast, indifferent wilderness. Your companion, a shadow to your left, equally camouflaged and motionless, is a testament to this shared understanding. You can't see his face, but you feel his presence, his absolute stillness, a mutual pact of patience. He is as much a part of the ground, of the wind, as you are. The scent of distant animal, faint and musky, occasionally drifts on the wind, a silent promise or a cruel taunt. You don't just wait, you are part of the waiting, a part of the very fabric of the hunt, a hunter who has become the very landscape, watching with an ancient, unwavering focus. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? How profound the act of merging with nature once was, not as a poetic idea, but as a raw, physical act of survival. How the deep, patient silence of a hunter, utterly present in their environment, is a connection almost entirely lost in our noisy, distracting modern world. You lie perfectly still, the gritty mud and charcoal a second skin against your face, feeling the faint, rhythmic tremor of distant hooves vibrating through the frozen earth. Your breath is slow, shallow, controlled, deliberately mimicking the whisper of the wind through the dry, stiff grasses around you. You are not just hiding, you are blending, becoming a seamless part of the desolate landscape. Every fiber of your being is tuned, an antenna to the subtle rhythms of this wild world, searching for meaning in every fleeting sound, every shift in the biting air. Your eyes, narrowed against the relentless glare of the snow, track a small flock of snow buntings as they suddenly take flight, a nervous flutter against the pale sky. Not a predator, you deduce instantly. Their flight pattern is too erratic, too high, perhaps a shift in the wind, or a distant sound you haven't yet registered. You watch their trajectory, understanding that even the smallest creatures are messengers, their behavior a vital piece of the intricate puzzle of survival. This profound understanding of ecological patterns, of the interconnected web of life, is your most advanced tool, far more crucial than any sharpened flint. The wind shifts again, and this time it carries a new scent, faint but unmistakable. Not fresh game, but something else. A heavy, musky aroma that speaks of warmth, of a recent presence, perhaps a wolf's den, or a sheltered spot where a herd paused. You turn your head, barely, letting the current brush against your cheek, reading its direction, knowing that this precise knowledge is your most powerful asset. It's an understanding that far transcends the clean lines of a weather app or the instant data of a GPS. Here, your app is your skin, your nose, your very intuition, refined over countless generations of primal attunement. You inhale deeply, letting the complex information wash over you, discerning layers of scent, old snow, damp earth, dry grasses, and the wild, musky presence. Your companion, a low, still form beside you, shifts, almost imperceptibly. He catches your eye, a silent question in his gaze, a profound trust in your assessment of these subtle cues. You give a slight, almost imperceptible nod towards the direction of the new scent, indicating a potential, safer route, a shift in the herd's movement, or perhaps the nearby presence of water. His own head dips in acknowledgement, a shared, silent language of deep ecological knowing, forged in the crucible of absolute necessity. You press your hand, covered in its charcoal and mud camouflage, against the cold earth, feeling your heart beat in sync with the pulse of the vast, wild landscape you have so meticulously learned to mimic. This profound understanding of ecological patterns, this visceral mimicry of nature, is not just a skill, it's a living, breathing connection, a dialogue with the wild. You realize how utterly disconnected from these subtle, vital rhythms our modern lives have become, with our screens and our data replacing the ancient, intuitive wisdom that once flowed in our very blood. Here, you are not just surviving, you are remembering, rediscovering the ancient human art of listening to the pulse of the planet itself. The brutal, ceaseless darkness of the Ice Age night finally begins its slow, agonizing retreat. You stand at the mouth of the cave, your body stiff from the lingering cold, your breath pluming thick and white in the frigid air. Your eyes, red-rimmed and weary, are fixed on the eastern horizon. Then, a faint, almost imperceptible sliver of light appears, a delicate line of pale gold against the inky blackness. It's the first kiss of dawn, and it quickly intensifies, not just brightening, but bleeding into a breathtaking spectrum of color. The horizon ignites, a slow, majestic eruption of fiery hues. Deep crimson streaks pierce the gray, fanning out into vibrant oranges and soft, ethereal pinks, painting the vast, frozen landscape in shades of unimaginable warmth. The endless white of the snow, the stark, skeletal trees, the distant, imposing peaks of ice, all are transformed, momentarily bathed in a glorious, fleeting radiance. You feel a catch in your throat, a profound, almost painful surge of awe that transcends the constant hunger and biting cold. It's an unexpected gift, a moment of pure, unadulterated beauty in a world defined by struggle. The metallic tang of cold air on your tongue seems to lessen, replaced by an almost sweet freshness carried on the first soft breath of morning. Your companion, standing silently beside you, releases a slow, controlled breath, his shoulders relaxing almost imperceptibly. His eyes, usually sharp and wary, are wide, reflecting the blazing sky, a shared, wordless wonder passing between you. You both watch, captivated, as the light strengthens, pushing back the shadows, revealing the immense, stark beauty of your world. The cold still grips you, yes, but for this precious, fleeting moment, it feels secondary, overshadowed by this breathtaking spectacle. Then, as the light grows, you spot it. Right at your feet, barely visible beneath a thin, crystalline crust of snow, a tiny, delicate bloom. Its petals are a vibrant, impossible blue, pushing its way through the unyielding, frozen earth, a minuscule but fierce assertion of life against the immense power of winter. You kneel slowly, your fingers, calloused and stiff, gently brush away the snow, revealing more of its perfect, fragile form. It's impossibly small, yet radiates an astonishing resilience, a defiant splash of color against the white. The chill of the snow on your fingertips is immediate, but so is the profound wonder that such a delicate thing can endure, and even flourish in this brutal, unforgiving world. It smells faintly of green, of life. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? How even in the harshest, most relentless struggle for survival, moments of profound beauty can pierce through, offering an unexpected surge of hope, a poignant reminder of life's enduring resilience and our own deep human capacity for awe. You hold a piece of smooth, bleached reindeer bone in your calloused hand, its surface cool and hard against your skin. The air in the cave is frigid, damp, a constant reminder of the world outside, yet your focus narrows to this small, pale fragment. With a sharpened flint burin, you begin to scrape a delicate, rhythmic asterisk, S-H-H-H-K, 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 asterisk sound, barely audible above the crackle of the low fire. Fine bone dust, smelling faintly of dried marrow and mineral, drifts from your work, clinging to your fingers, a testament to slow, painstaking progress. This isn't about making a tool for the hunt. This is about shaping beauty, coaxing meaning from raw material, an act of creation in a world that relentlessly demands only survival. You turn the bone, examining the nascent curve you are coaxing into being, a small, abstract form, perhaps a stylized bird, or a protective talisman. Your eyes, usually sharp for tracking game or spotting distant danger, now hold a different intensity, absorbed in the minute details, the subtle contours. The deep hunger that constantly gnaws at your belly, the ache in your limbs from endless cold and exertion, they recede, for now, replaced by a profound, almost meditative concentration. This simple act of carving is a defiance, a silent assertion that life is more than just eating and staying warm. It's about leaving a mark, expressing something ineffable, connecting to a spirit that seeks purpose beyond the immediate. Your companion, across the flickering fire, observes you. His gaze is not curious, but understanding. He too has spent countless hours shaping stone or sketching figures on the cave walls, the shared impulse, a silent language between you. He knows this need, this drive to infuse meaning into the harsh, indifferent world. The firelight dances, casting deep, shifting shadows, making the carved bones seem to almost quiver with a fragile, inherent life, an echo of the magnificent beasts painted on the cave walls around you. The cold tries to press in, but within this small circle of light and creativity, a different kind of warmth blooms, an internal fire of purpose. You feel the deep, smooth polish on the bone where your thumb has repeatedly pressed, a subtle sheen emerging from the constant friction. The finished piece will be small, easily held, a tangible whisper of awe, a token of beauty wrenched from the very teeth of the Ice Age. It's a testament to resilience, a reminder that even when existence is a brutal battle, the human spirit yearns for something more, for expression, for art, for a deeper connection to the vast, mysterious universe. This search for meaning, for creation, isn't a luxury here. It's an enduring, essential part of what makes you human. It makes you truly understand, doesn't it, that even in the face of unimaginable hardship, the human spirit's deepest need isn't just to survive, but to imbue life with meaning, to create beauty, and to find awe in a world that constantly tries to reduce us to mere struggle. And how easily, in our modern world of convenience and distraction, that profound, ancient drive can be overshadowed, lost amidst the noise. The air, usually still and heavy in the deeper parts of the cave, now carries a faint, resonant hum. It's a deep, almost mournful sound, a low groan that seems to vibrate through the very rock you lean against, up your spine and into your teeth. You listen intently, straining to pinpoint its source. It's not a predator's call, nor the rumble of distant ice breaking. No, this is different. It's the unsettling, distant creak of something vast, something impossibly old, shifting, retreating. It comes from the north, from where the colossal glaciers have always stood, a constant, unmoving wall of blue-white power. But now, they seem to whisper of movement, of an immense, slow-motion surrender. You glance at your companion, his head also tilted, his eyes narrowed, listening to the same profound, almost imperceptible sound. You see the quiet unease etched on his face, mirroring your own. This isn't a new season. This is a new kind of season. The biting wind carries a slightly different scent now, a damp, earthy smell that speaks of newly exposed ground, of water that should still be locked in ice. It's a subtle shift, a fragrance of slow, undeniable change that prickles at your senses, hinting at a world subtly, inexplicably reforming itself. The bison migrations, once a predictable lifeline, have become erratic. Last season they veered west, far from their usual passes, their numbers noticeably thinner. This spring, the herds of wild horses, usually plentiful in the northern valleys, simply aren't there, or only appear in small, scattered groups, moving quickly, almost nervously. Your usual hunting grounds, once rich with tracks, now feel emptier, almost silent. You spend longer hours tracking, your feet aching on bare, muddy patches where snow used to lie deep and firm. It's a profound disruption, a silent, unsettling message from the very animals whose patterns your survival depends on. They are adapting, moving, but to where and why remains a terrifying mystery. This isn't the harsh but understandable rhythm of winter and summer you've always known. This is something else. A slow, dawning unease that chills you more deeply than any blizzard. The very ground beneath your feet feels less stable. The air you breathe carries unfamiliar promises and threats. Your world, once a brutal but constant challenge, is now subtly, profoundly, incomprehensibly transforming, demanding a new kind of vigilance, a new kind of fear. It's the end of an age, felt in the very bones of the planet. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? How truly unsettling it is when the very foundation of your world, the deep, unchanging rhythms you rely on, begins to shift, and you are left to adapt to a future you cannot possibly comprehend. The cold still clings to the air, a familiar bite, but as you step out of the cave, your boots sink, not into firm, wind-packed snow, but into something softer, yielding. It's mud, thick, clinging, damp earth that sucks at your feet with each step, releasing a deep, pungent aroma of decay and new growth. The relentless crunch of ice underfoot is replaced by a wet squelch, 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 a sound so profoundly different it echoes with an unsettling promise of change. The air itself feels heavier, laden with moisture, carrying a new, sweeter scent of unfamiliar green shoots, beginning to emerge from patches of exposed, thawing ground. You cast your eyes across the landscape. The colossal blue-white wall of the glacier in the distance seems to have receded further, its distant groans now less a constant presence and more a sporadic dying lament. Where once there was an endless, stark expanse of white, patches of dull brown and gray earth are appearing, larger each day, like ancient wounds slowly healing, or perhaps opening anew. The animals, too, have shifted. The great woolly mammoths, once a majestic thundering presence, are seen less and less, their massive tracks replaced by smaller, quicker prints. A different kind of bird, with a high, melodic call, flits through the skeletal branches of a newly leafing willow, a sound utterly alien to the harsh cries you've grown accustomed to. You watch your companion, his brow furrowed with a deep, silent concentration, as he examines a patch of unfamiliar plant life, its leaves a vibrant, startling green. His usual hunting instincts, honed for the vast, open tundra, now seem to hesitate, his gaze uncertain. The old ways, the patterns, the predictable migrations, they are breaking down, demanding a new kind of knowledge, a different vigilance. The food sources are shifting. New dangers emerge from melting permafrost, and the very ground beneath you is no longer a constant. This isn't just adaptation. It's a profound, disorienting recalibration to a world that is fundamentally reforming itself. He glances at you, his eyes reflecting a mixture of concern and a fierce, unyielding determination. He points to a distant, higher ridge, a subtle gesture that speaks volumes. We must go there. We must find new patterns, new life. The air, though still cold, feels pregnant with possibility, with the daunting, exhilarating, and terrifying birth of a new age. The Ice Age, the brutal, constant companion of your existence, is slowly, irrevocably receding, leaving behind a world less stark, but no less challenging, demanding new struggles and new ingenuity. The very ground you walk on feels like the boundary between two worlds, the old dying, the new struggling to be born. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? That survival isn't just about enduring the present, but about the profound, relentless challenge of adapting to a world that is forever transforming. It reminds you that humanity's story is one of continuous environmental flux and our unwavering capacity to face, and often thrive, in the face of immense, earth-shaking change. You reach down, your fingers brushing against something unexpected, something solid and cool hidden beneath a thin layer of earth and dry leaves. You pick it up. It's a hand axe, ancient and perfectly formed, its flint body heavy, substantial, and utterly balanced in your palm. The weight of it is immediate, profound, far more than just a stone. It feels like a piece of history, a direct, physical connection to the hands that first shaped it, thousands upon thousands of years ago. You run your thumb along its flaked edge, the cool, hard flint still impossibly sharp, a testament to meticulous craftsmanship and a raw understanding of material. The precision of each strike that removed perfect, razor-thin pieces of rock is almost humbling, a silent whisper of the immense skill and ingenuity of its maker. You turn it over, feeling the smooth, worn facets where countless grips have polished the stone, making it fit your modern hand with an uncanny familiarity. It's an object of pure function, lethal and efficient, yet it possesses an inherent beauty born of necessity. The faint, earthy scent of ancient mineral, clinging to its surface from millennia of burial, fills your nostrils, a subtle, primal aroma that grounds you, pulling you deeper into the distant past it represents. This isn't a relic behind glass. It's alive in your hand, vibrating with the echoes of desperate hunts, of butchered game, of the very acts that sustained life in a brutal world. Beside it, you discover another object, impossibly delicate by comparison. A bone needle. You pick it up. Its surface surprisingly smooth, cool, and almost waxy beneath your fingertips, polished by centuries of careful use. It's slender, perfectly tapered to a fine point, yet feels incredibly strong, resilient. You can almost feel the phantom tension of a sinew thread pulled through its eye, the gentle push and pull as it pierced thick animal hide, stitch after painstaking stitch. It smells faintly of dried bone, of ancient purpose. This tiny artifact speaks of a different kind of survival, of warmth, of protection, of the meticulous craft required to transform raw fur into life-saving garments against the relentless cold. It's a tangible link to the patient hands that sewed, mended, and cared, ensuring the community was clad against oblivion. Your companion, watching you, nods slowly, his gaze understanding, a shared reverence for these simple, yet profoundly powerful objects. They are not just tools, they are tangible testaments to the intelligence, the perseverance, and the sheer will to create that defined those who walked this earth before you. It truly makes you understand, doesn't it? How deeply human ingenuity is etched into the very fabric of our past, and how these simple, tactile objects can bridge millennia, connecting your own hands, your own mind, to the ancient, enduring spirit of humanity. You hold the ancient hand axe, its flint surface cool and smooth, yet still impossibly sharp, a tangible echo of a past you now intimately understand. Its unexpected weight in your palm is a profound connection, a silent conversation with hands long turned to dust. You run your thumb along its meticulously flaked edge, the cool, hard flint still savagely keen, a testament to immense craftsmanship and a raw understanding of material. The precision of each strike, the removal of perfect, razor-thin pieces of rock, is almost humbling, a silent whisper of the immense skill and relentless ingenuity of its maker, vibrating with echoes of desperate hunts and the very acts that sustain life in a brutal world. Beside it, you then gently trace the smooth, cool polish of a well-used bone needle. Its slender, perfectly tapered form feels incredibly strong, resilient, an object of immense purpose. You can almost feel the phantom tension of a sinew thread pulled through its impossibly fine eye, the gentle push and pull as it pierced thick animal hide, stitch after painstaking stitch. This tiny artifact speaks volumes of a different kind of survival, of warmth, of protection, of the meticulous craft required to transform raw fur into life-saving garments against the relentless cold. It's a tangible link to the patient hands that sewed, mended, and cared, ensuring the community was clad against oblivion, its faint, earthy scent, a profound whisper of ancient purpose. You lift your gaze to the cave walls, to the vibrant, dancing shadows of bison and mammoths painted there by the flickering firelight. You've seen these images countless times, but now they hold a deeper, more personal meaning. They are not just art. They are prayers, histories, warnings, profound declarations of humanity's spirit in the face of overwhelming odds. You feel the rough, cool stone under your fingertips as you trace a line, understanding the primal human need to imbue meaning, to find beauty, to connect with the sacred and the cosmic in a world that relentlessly demanded every ounce of physical effort. The faint, earthy scent of ancient pigments mixed with the lingering wood smoke now feels like the very breath of your ancestors, a profound, enveloping presence in this hallowed space. Your companion stands silently beside you, his presence a quiet, solid anchor. He too gazes at the walls, his eyes reflecting a shared understanding, a deep reverence for the wisdom held within the rock. His hand, calloused and strong, rests briefly on your shoulder, a wordless acknowledgement of the brutal journey you've both endured, of the profound connections made, not just with each other, but with this distant past. You have felt the searing cold, the gnawing hunger, the terror of the hunt, the aching labor of creating shelter and tools. And through it all, you have seen, in vivid, visceral detail, the unwavering resilience, the fierce cooperation, the enduring capacity for awe and creation that defined these first humans, shaping the very core of who we are today. This ancient ingenuity, this profound resilience, this powerful drive to create beauty and meaning beyond mere survival, it didn't simply vanish with the melting glaciers. It lives within you, in your hands, in your mind, in the very fabric of your being. You carry their legacy, an unbroken thread of human experience stretching from the Ice Age to your present moment. It's a profound responsibility, isn't it? To not just remember these stories, but to feel them, to truly understand that the strength, the artistry, and the fierce spirit of these ancient ancestors are a vital, living part of your own shared ancestral heritage, a powerful connection to the very essence of what it means to be human, often overlooked and muted in our hurried, convenient, modern world. It makes you truly understand, doesn't it? That the past isn't just history to be read in books,